We're reading from Saigyo. We're trying to get some poetry of Saigyo, the Japanese 12th century poet. We've gone to Rutgers, Soar, Scholarly Open Access Rutgers, to Robert Sewell, Master's Thesis, Columbia. Saigyo, by the way, means going west, as into the Western Paradise. All right, here's a poem from the thesis. Since the leaves of the trees have fallen in a village, at the foot of an Agura mountain, through the bare treetops, I see the clear moon. Just because the leaves fell, he can now see it. Maybe the leaves falling is symbolic.
Trying to figure out the picture he paints.
Pictures?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to figure out. Here's another poem.
The image, he says.
You figured out, you're the analyst here. Okay, here we go. Uto Kunaru. Why must I resent her now that she has grown distant? Since there was a time when, unknown myself, I knew her not. Basically, he didn't know her even then. So why should he resent her when he didn't even
know himself?
He didn't know himself and didn't really know her. It's a fan.
So you can't know anybody if you don't know yourself first.
That's very wise. He says, why must I resent her now that she has grown distant? Since there was a time when, unknown myself, I knew her not. Yeah. And here we go with another one. Vivid imagery. This one is Kokoro Naki. Even to a person without emotion, this sadness would be known. A snipe starts in a marsh on an evening in autumn. See, that's the one we read before, a famous one, I guess.
Read it again.
Even to a person without emotion. Is that the one where he's free of passion? This sadness would be known. A snipe starts in a marsh on an evening in autumn.
Snipe? What's snipe?
It's a bird or something. Remember, he said, even though I thought I was free of passion, I still had an emotion. In the other readings.
But this is the opposite.
It's the same poem, probably.
Read it again.
Kokoro Naki. Mi ni mo awari.
Right, you're not going to get it in Japanese, okay? Just read it in English.
Even to a person without emotion, this sadness would be known. A snipe starts in a marsh on an evening in autumn.
So you see, it is even to a non-emotional person, it would be touching him. It's so sad in a way what he's
he said he tried to be free of all passion, but somehow he finds he still has it. Remember his sorrow and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He's a poet of sorrow. Melancholic. Well, they call him that. I don't know what's the words they use.
Okay, let's read. We don't have to define it.
Some of these poems are the same ones we read as famous poems, and here's another one, maybe more humorous. Oyamada no. By the sound of deer crying near my hut, in a small mountain field, startled awake, I startled them. You think they woke him up and he startled them?
He woke.
He woke.
They cried and he woke up, and
they were startled when he woke.
But then when he woke up, they were startled.
We'll read it again. By the sound of deer crying near my hut in a small mountain field, startled awake, I startled them. Makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't expect a human being to be there.
One of his most famous poems. We probably have read it already. Toshi Takiti. Did I think I would pass this way again when I was old? What a long life I have lived. Nakayama of the night. Toshi Takakiti.
Nakayama? What is Nakayama of the night?
Nakayama of the night. Well, maybe the analysis. Let me read it again. Did I think I would pass this way again when I was old? What a long life I have lived. Nakayama of the night. To know that Nakayama of the night is a steep mountain pass which is frequently mentioned in classical poetry. Alright, it's a steep mountain pass. It means...
It seems he passed through that when he was young.
Nakayama means in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we need analysis.
So he's passing a second time through there. It seems that he didn't expect the first time he passed, he didn't think he'll ever pass twice. Somehow.
Are you saying he passed it twice? He was surprised?
That's what he says.
He was surprised he lived.
Through that.
Maybe he's surprised he lived that long.
So he's amazed to how long he lived to repeat something like that.
Yeah.
It could be an emotional issue. It could be that experience.
All right, next poem. Suzuka Yama. Across Suzuka Mountain, and shaking off the floating world for another place. What will become of me now as I go ringing a bell? The Suzuka Mountains, a pass between the Kyoto region and Ise province. I'm sure that Basho went through here. Basho really was... you recall, Basho wanted to follow his footsteps across the Suzuka Mountain and shaking off the floating world for another place. What will become of me now as I go ringing a bell? Why is he ringing a bell?
It seems from all that openness in his life, where he's been now, he's on a bell in a way, like...
Bell deer. Suzuka literally means bell deer. So he's using a word association.
So he's in a poem now. Before he was all open. He was enjoying the whole world, and now he's concentrating on something, it seems. With expectation.
To become a person, narayuki, contains the verb nari, to ring a bell. See, these are Japanese words that have... It's a difficulty of foreign poetry. It's very difficult.
You can let your imagination play.
Well, you're dependent on translation and analysis. We're reading from a PDF file from Rutgers University. Sewell is the guy. This is, I think, a collection of the mountain, in a mountain hut, something or other. Shinkokinshu. Anyways, next poem. Omoi Shiru. If there were someone in this world who understood me, now in the dawning, I should not feel such endless grief at the moon lingering in the sky. If there was someone understood, if there were someone in this world who understood me now in the dawning, I would not feel such endless grief at the moon lingering in the sky. Guy's kind of lonely, I don't know. It gets lonely though.
It seems poets are not easily understood, so
No, they're not understood.
here we try to understand him so many thousand years after.
The setting of the poem is the time of Ariaki, which translates as dawning. When the sun is just rising, it's sunrise. The moon's still lingering in the sky. And there the pivot word. The poetry has to have a pivot word, or sometimes just a pun. A pivot word is a key word. These poems have key words, and the word is kaki kotoba.
Read the poem again?
Okay, where's the key word? Where's the key word? The pivot. That's where there's like in the middle of the poem is some word that still turns it around. I guess. I don't even see the word. I don't see the word. Unless it's Ariaki. If there were someone in this world who understood me now in the dawning, well, dawning is almost in the middle of the poem, I should not feel such endless grief at the moon lingering in the sky.
It seems he lingers like the moon also. Dawning, it's the awakening. It's not the awakening.
Everybody loves the sunrise.
What is the dawn? Is dawning?
Dawning,
it's
dawn. Dawn. What is dawn? Sunrise.
Sunrise.
Goodness.
So why is he? If nobody understands you at the sunrise, hopefully somebody will understand you at the sunset.
Somebody will understand you at sunset. Well, we are trying to understand him almost 1,000 years later. Well, after 1,000 years, somebody's going to understand him. Come on. This guy, he wrote a thesis at Columbia.
See, everybody wants to understand.
He wrote a thesis on him, and Columbia must understand him. We're reading from... Why is it posted under Rutgers? It says the guy got his master's from Columbia. His name is Robert Sewell, Sewell. Reading from the 1206 Shinkokinshu of the poetry of Saigyo, Saigyo, which is not really haiku, but renga and waka. So we're going west. Strangely, we're going east, but Saigyo means going west. So we're going east to go west. I mean, going east to discover Saigyo. 1118 to 1190. Where we went west to Rutgers University. Ah, okay, we're done. We have to be done. Okay.